In tonight's headlines, a world-renowned legal expert in international law makes our case for the territorial dispute. Belize Infrastructure Limited hands over sporting facilities, Belmopan youths are learning agriculture, and the Road Safety Unit is making strides in awareness. These stories and more on this week's edition of Belize Now. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, August 11th, 2017. I'm Charlie Hutchinson. We hear about the Belize-Guatemala territorial dispute countless times. This is because it has been a problem for the two countries since 1859. Now, 150 years later, the dispute has still not come to a peaceful resolution. Our Belize Now team spoke to key dignitaries, including a world-renowned legal expert involved in working towards a resolution to the ongoing disagreement. They told us what's next for Belize. Janelle Rodriguez has more.
In the case of the Belize-Guatemala territorial dispute, neither negotiation, mediation, nor facilitation has been able to succeed in settling the claim of Guatemala against Belize relating to land, insular territories, and the maritime areas pertaining to these two countries. This recurring hot topic cannot be ignored, and His Excellency Alexis Rosado, Belize's ambassador to Guatemala, told us about some of the ongoing issues that affect Belize as a result.
The pressures will continue because they have demographic growth in the population in the department next to us in Guatemala, Petén, where the problems of deforestation are huge. What tends to happen is that the problem keeps creeping northward toward Mexico and eastward toward Belize, where the grass is greener. You have also criminal networks that are engaged in illegal mining, illegal logging, poaching of wildlife. The macaw parrots, for example, are high value items and now endangered, and many other species of flora and fauna that are becoming endangered that attract great value in the international market. So all of these are factors that contribute to the problems that we are facing.
Ambassador Rosado pressed why it is so crucial now more than ever to settle the dispute between Belize and Guatemala.
In our negotiations over the past 70 years, none of our negotiating team has ever been able, and they have been unwilling. We cannot even contemplate the idea of taking a part of our territory and giving it to them. And they could never accept a solution that does not show that they are getting a piece of Belize's territory. In effect, our positions cannot meet, and no matter how many times we sit down and try to find a solution, we will not be able to do it. So we have been, in effect, at a standstill for so many years. Finally, we decided that we have exhausted all the alternative means of peaceful resolution of disputes that are provided for in the United Nations Charter.
And when there are two bodies who stand firm in their position, a third and unbiased body is sometimes necessary to bring a peaceful resolution to the disagreement. In this case, that third body is the UN system's highest judicial body, the International Court of Justice. His Excellency Pat Andrews, CEO in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, tells us why it is important to take the matter to the International Court of Justice.
Really, we cannot continue spinning wheels. I think the point right now that we are at is one of a defining moment. We have no turning back. You know, it's like basically the only thing that we need is going to the ICJ and having the court pronounce a judgment for us to know exactly where our defined borders are. And after that, we'll be able to live in peace with Guatemala, hopefully, and we'll be able to have the regular flow of trade between both countries, and we can move on.
Ambassador Rosado tells us why he believes that going to the International Court of Justice is the best decision for Belize.
It is easy for us to say, well, we know where the boundary is because it is defined in the treaties and because our constitution says that that is the boundary. However, our neighbor does not believe so, We cannot convince them that that is the boundary. So we do need a third party, not just to convince them, but to tell them and to give them a ruling that is binding and that they will have to recognize.
What are the chances that Belize will be successful in defending our territory in international court? How strong is our legal position? These are the questions we posed to Ben Geratowicz, Global Head of the Public International Law Practice at Freshfields Brackhouse Deringer. Here's what he had to say.
There's no case exactly like this one, but it's clear from the opinions that I referred to before that Belize's position is extremely strong. International law takes boundary treaties very seriously. The 1859 treaty is clear as to the boundary and that it is the boundary that it exists today. That was confirmed by the 1931 Exchange of Notes, which is itself an international treaty confirming a boundary that already existed. And on top of those treaty positions, it's very clear that Belize exercises sovereignty and jurisdiction over all of its territory. And so Belize's position is very strong indeed.
In his concluding statements, Ambassador Alexis Rosado told us how finally resolving the dispute will be beneficial to the country.
So it brings with it not just certainty, confidence, and security. And who does not want to live in peace and security? I certainly wouldn't wish it on my children for sure, and I'm sure we all feel the same way. We have an opportunity to settle this thing now, given the option to go to the ICJ, and I think we would have failed our children if we do not embrace it.
Earlier this month, it made headlines in Belize when Guatemalan Congress supported the decision to hold a referendum to take the case of the border dispute with Belize to the International Court of Justice. Belize will soon have that opportunity. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Rodriguez.
On Friday, August 4th, the Belize Infrastructure Limited held a national management workshop for the National Sports Council and municipal authorities. The workshop was organized to review the status of operations and management arrangements for the sports infrastructure in each municipality and to facilitate greater collaboration between the National Sports Council, NSC, and mayors from the municipalities. The mayors and their support staff, as well as local sports council staff, received one-on-one and group training on topics including accounting, operations, and management. At the conclusion of the workshop, General Manager of Belize Infrastructure Limited, Ms. Christy Mastry, officially handed over sport infrastructure for 5 municipalities: Belmopan, San Ignacio Santa Elena, San Pedro, Dangriga, and Punta Gorda. The coordinated contractual arrangements with the National Sports Council and the municipalities will now control the management and operations of the sports infrastructure with support and monitoring through Belize Infrastructure Limited. After the break, more stories. Stay with us.
This week, I will be sharing one idea with you that can minimize or stop bad behavior. That idea is pick your battle. If you are saying no, 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 and your child tune out the no and won't understand your priorities, define what's important to you. Set limits accordingly and follow through with appropriate consequences. Ease up on little things that are annoying, since your child is likely to outgrow those habits. For instance, if I tell my daughter not to make a mess when playing in the room, but she doesn't listen, rather than trying to catch her in the act of saying no No. I make her clean up right after finish playing. I am also quick to praise her for saying please and sharing toys with her little sister. Hopefully, the positive reinforcement will encourage her to do more good than bad behavior.
This message was brought to you by NCFC and Special Envoy for Women and Children.
The new Belize City Civic Center is taking shape at the foot of the Balkan Bridge and is expected to be completed by December 2017. This multi-purpose mega facility will boast an air-conditioned interior with a seating capacity of 4,500, a FIBA-certified wooden main court and 3 practice courts, offices, media boxes and multiple locker rooms, another basketball court with 24-hour access to the public, and parking for 200 vehicles. This $33 million investment highlights a new era of world-class sporting infrastructure for the entire country of Belize. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Last Saturday, the week-long 2017 Youth Engaged in Agriculture Summer Program concluded at the National Agriculture and Trade Show grounds. Last week, we joined the children for a few days at their camp to see what they were up to. Our team has this story.
Here in Belize, aquaculture started during the 1980s. They started very small with 20-acre plot, and now where we work and did an assessment, we have around 69 farmers that are active. Right? And we've sold from the beginning of January until now, we've sold around 150,000 baby fish. We sell these baby fish for 15 cents.
After 1 week of all things agriculture, children from Belmopan and surrounding villages within the jurisdiction of the Belmopan Police Department wrapped up their annual Youth Engaged in Agriculture Summer Program. The program, which is a collaborative effort between the Belmopan Police Department and the Ministry of Agriculture, saw an increase in participants exceeding its intended cap. We followed up with Commander of the Belmopan Police Department, Senior Superintendent Howell Gillett, to find out how the week went.
The program has exceeded our expectations. As a matter of fact, we had planned to have 75 young people engaged in this program, but on some days there are over 100 young people participating, and it is our way of keeping young people doing something positive. And these kids have learned a lot. I listen to the discourse while they're performing whatever is being taught to them, and it's amazing. I heard a little guy said, I'll surprise my mom and make salsa casera for her one day, and that brings joy to me.
The program highlights the importance of interagency collaborations.
These young people are now closer to law enforcement. They know police officers personally, and that in itself will help to continue to drive down crime in our area. And that was one of the objectives, and we have achieved it. And we're ever so grateful to the Ministry of Agriculture, the Minister Godwin Holtz, and the CEO, Mr. Alpuche. They have been helpful, because I will be the first to admit that without the assistance of the Ministry of Agriculture, we can never do this. It could never have happened, and we are so happy that we partnered with them to do this.
Due to its success, the OC has hinted that the program may be introduced to other jurisdictions next year. Until such time, Senior Superintendent Gillett is encouraging his colleagues to also implement programs to engage youths.
Look at it, be innovative, and see how you could engage young people, because if we engage young people positively, then there's little negative for them to think about. So we're happy with what we did, and we're looking forward for next year and for the increase to take it to the other districts.
With parents from other districts reaching out to have their children included in the program, the commander sees the need for a bigger budget to meet the demand.
Next year we will start at an earlier part of the year and involve more stakeholders, meaning the business community and those friends of the police and friends of the Ministry of Agriculture, to make it even bigger.
From a tour of factories to aquaculture to learning how to make salsa casera, there was much for the children at this year's camp to get their hands in. 2 participants shared their experiences with us.
Well, this summer camp for me was fun because we learned about planting, budding, and we learned how to see if the tilapias are sick and if they are dying without energy. I would like to do it next year, and this is my 2nd time doing this.
We went to Western Dairies and see the processing. They gave us samples of them to taste.
The week included a visit to Spanish Lookout, where the children visited the quality poultry plant, Belcar, and Western Dairies. They also had lessons in horticulture, aquaculture, livestock, and agro-processing. The program concluded with ziplining and a kids' rodeo at the showgrounds. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Mencias.
It's a kinnip tree, and it's small, and it's going to grow. And it needs water, air, and a lot more things to grow.
In 2013, the government of Belize, through the Ministry of Economic Development and Petroleum, implemented the Road Safety Project. The project sought to achieve a 20% reduction in injuries and fatalities resulting from road traffic accidents along the Belize City-Belmopan corridor within 3 years. The project sought to achieve that by improving the physical integrity of our roads, strengthening traffic law enforcement, enhancing emergency response, increasing demarcation and signage, and by conducting a wide-reaching education campaign. The Road Safety Unit has prepared a documentary to tell us more.
The pain and devastation of losing a loved one. 70 lives lost due to road traffic incidents in 2009. That's 21 deaths per 100,000 inhabitants. Putting the brakes on reducing road fatalities is the Ministry of Economic Development and Petroleum, supported by key line ministries and municipalities.
The significance of the project lies in the potential the project has for mitigating the loss of life through traffic collisions.
Critical and timely interventions by the Road Safety Project have led to a drastic decline to less than 10% of road fatalities along the George Price Highway. Many lives have been saved on this 50-mile demonstrated corridor as a safety program between Belize City and Belmopan within 2 years of the project's establishment. A representative of the International Federation of Automobiles also commented on Belize's road safety project activities and the Belizean Youth for Road Safety collaborative efforts towards road safety actions.
Not only in the demonstration corridor, but also across the country, Belize has made significant progress in the social awareness of road safety, that not only the road safety people, but the citizens themselves are taking upon themselves to bring awareness to everyone. And in the Belize Automobile Club, we have made it aware to all our racers that road safety practices must be held or practiced daily, not only in sports, but in the daily driving routines.
Strategic partnership is of equal importance in making Belize's road system safer for men, women, and children.
With the proper signage, with the proper road markings being put in place, that will complement our traffic department and the job that they are doing. So we expect to see lower incidences or lower numbers of incidents in terms of traffic mishaps.
What we've learned in our municipality when it comes to the road safety project is that when we start with children, That's where we see that the information gets transmitted more properly to the households.
Road safety affects every single member of the community. It can be something very personal, that somebody may have lost a loved one as a result of an accident, or there may be very serious injuries as a result of an accident or damage to property.
Belize has been bestowed with accolades internationally for its road safety project, a fundamental pillar for present and future generations.
You don't measure human lives in dollars. You measure them in the lives that are saved.
It's not only about safer roads and safer vehicles, improved legislations and improved driving habits. It's about saving lives. One life saved is certainly worth the investment.
This project is funded by the Government of Belize and the Caribbean Development Bank.
The project has proven to be impactful and achieved its target before the end of year 2. The project is a part of a larger Road Safety Master Plan 2030, which is aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Target 3.6 to reduce the number of deaths and injuries by half from road traffic crashes by 2020. After the break, our segment, In Case You Missed It, don't go anywhere.
The world is changing.
Welcome to Belize.
Nobody will ever stop my heart from loving. Showing
Bienvenidos a Belize.
Let's keep growing. Don't let the struggles get you down.
Recibe lumutibu Belize.
We are golden. We
Tohokre kulunik adin setenamit Belize.
gotta get stronger. We can get
Welcome to Belize.
negativity no longer. Then we
Welcome to Belize. For the first time in the Western Hemisphere, the World Youth Conference is coming, and it's all happening in Belize. The Department of Youth Services under the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, alongside the Government of Belize, will be hosting WYC 17 under the theme Globally Running to 2030, Becoming Sustainably Strong, from November 6th through the 9th, 2017 at the Ramada Hotel in Belize City. This conference convenes young leaders from around the world as we see how we can tackle the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. See you in Belize.
Join us in Belize for the World Youth Conference 2017.
We gotta keep moving, gotta get stronger. We can't give in to the negativity no longer.
The Philip Goldson Highway between Belize City and the Philip Goldson International Airport is getting a major facelift to the tune of $31.5 million. Section B of the highway upgrading project between Hallover Bridge and the Buttonwood Bay Boulevard roundabout is underway at an investment of $21 million. Works consist of the full rehabilitation of the road to paved standard, which includes the widening of the road to 4 lanes, lined sidewalks and drains, wide shoulders, median, and parking, plus a bus lane at designated sections of the road. LED road lighting will be installed along with road safety features such as signs, reflectors, and road markings. The project will also facilitate in the improvement of underground infrastructure for the public utility companies. The Government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
The The Elections and Boundaries Department issued a public notice announcing that all registration offices countrywide will be opened on Saturday, August 26, 2017 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is to facilitate persons who wish to be transferred from one electoral division to another, registration of persons who have attained the age of 18 years and over and have not yet registered, and delivery of voters' identification card. Electors seeking to be transferred are encouraged to bring along their voter's identification card or any other picture identification such as passport, social security card, or driver's license. Persons seeking registration shall bring along their Belizean birth certificate along with a picture identification card or Belizean passport or Belize nationality certificate. Persons who present a Belizean birth certificate or Belize nationality certificate which does not have a photograph shall bring along a picture identification. The Elections and Boundaries Department encourages the public to take advantage of this opportunity. The Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan and Belize Taiwan ICDF Alumni Society co-hosted the 2017 Taiwan Scholarship Award Ceremony and Orientation for 26 scholarship recipients on Saturday, August 5, 2017. The scholarship recipients have been awarded scholarships respectively through the Taiwan ICDF Scholarship Program and the Taiwan Scholarship Program. A total number of 334 Belizeans have been granted scholarships to study in Taiwan to date. His Excellency Charles Liu, Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Honorable Wilfred Elrington, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Mrs. Debbie Domingo, CEO of Ministry of Education, congratulated all the scholarship recipients and presented each recipient with a scholarship package. And that's it for this edition of Belize Now. If you want to provide feedback or send in your comments, please feel free to email us at info@pressoffice.gov.bz or visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week. Until next time.